go. We're good.
My top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day, Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucs on the goal line, Bulls ride or die, from the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go, it's the JP Peterson Show.
All right, welcome in to another exciting edition, we hope, of the JP Peterson Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. And what a show we got for you. Breaking news, Bill Carlson will join us here. The swing vote for the Rays stadium plan. He has come up with a new plan to finance the deal, which everyone seems to love. We reported this last week. And we'll get more details on it today. A lot of shenanigans yesterday at the city council meeting. We'll check in on that as they're talking about getting attorney generals to investigate the mayor's office. It's a shit show here, Timmy. We try to build a stadium here, man, and Lord knows you guys get it done in Texas so easy.
It's a very Chicago thing going on there in Tampa.
Oh my Lord. We got some 85-year-old man screaming and yelling at the clouds. They're like, I'm gonna sue you because the stadium and government money and people and I have a computer here because and literally just unintelligible rant by Charlie Miranda. And it's just like, can somebody just put him off to the side while the adults get some business done? It's we all love Charlie, but it's getting embarrassing. And when stuff is this important, we got issues. But anyway,
he sounds like an SNL character.
Really, you know what? You nailed it. It's really what it looks like. I'm sorry that I don't mean to be mean, but you're in a position of extreme responsibility. And if you can't discharge your duties because you're just really old and don't want to use computers, well, that's a problem. That's just a problem. I'm not being ageist here. That's an issue. Right. If you're 86 years old and you're sharp as a tack and you're up to date and can use computers and cell phones and everything and understand the complexities of this deal, I'm fine. That's not what this is by any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, he really is a non-factor, so I don't worry about it too much unless he wants to file a lawsuit, and Lord knows where that would go. But away we go here. Bill Carlson will join us, and we'll talk about all things going on down there at City Hall and what's left to get done with this Rays deal. Again, we've been talking to Bill over the past couple of weeks, and since the breakthrough where he got to speak directly to Ken Babby, things have progressed nicely. And I think we're as close to getting a deal done as we've ever been. And I think it's really his vision and creativity here has created a pathway to get the deal done. And that's exactly what everybody wants. Most people want. So we'll talk to Bill Carlson at 11:30, and we'll get his thoughts on all of this. Also, we got some news that affects the Buccaneers in a real way. Quinnen Williams got his deal done in Dallas. So, Tim, I will prevail upon you to give me some details on that. I've kind of looked into it and how it affects perhaps the Vita Vea deal. And this makes the Bucs look even worse, quite frankly, to me. And I'll tell you why. Again, with the Baker deal and the Vita Vea deal, if you look around the league at comparable situations, the Bucs are the outlier here. They are the outlier, and that's the problem. So we'll dig a little bit more into that. The Rays with a rousing victory last night that just made me laugh. I'm staying up late, Timmy, watching this thing unfold. And I did not realize this, but Mark Topkin had this in his story today. This is the first road win for the Rays when they were trailing by 4 or more runs in the 7th inning or later since 2009. 2009. That's a long time
ago.
That's a long time ago. I was still working at Channel 8. That's a long time ago. Very long time ago.
I only had 5 kids back then.
Oh, my God, right? How the world has changed. Holy shit. We didn't even have StreamYard in 2009. Who's the reason we're late these last couple of days, by the way. We're blaming them, as we should. They're having technical difficulties. That's the program we used to get on here. So we apologize for that. But thank you guys, for you Petermans, for hanging in there with us. We're trying to rectify that situation and get started on time each and every day. But we'll see moving forward. We'll try to rectify that. But so we got Rays to talk about on and off the field. We got Bucs to talk about as well, as they get set to start practice actually at 10 o'clock. They've just started practice with the Jets in their joint practices up there in New Jersey. So we will keep our eye on the Twitter machine. And if anything breaks, we will let you know what's going on there at the joint practices for some of the eyes on that. By the way, we were set to do a Hurricanes preview today. Amon Richards going to join us. He's at practice right now. They changed Hurricanes practice, Miami practice. So we're going to actually record that this afternoon and bring it to you tomorrow. So we had a little schedule change there. So, but we can still talk about the University of Miami football a little bit today. We'll do that. But Amon will join us tomorrow. He was going to join us from practice, but I thought that might be a little wonky. So we'll just do it this way. So let's get going. We're going to talk obviously a ton of stuff with Bill Carlson later on. So I just want to do just a couple minutes on the stadium here, just to keep you up to date. So Carlson, we had him on a couple weeks ago. For those of you who don't know, I know a lot of you know all this, so it'll be a little bit redundant, but most don't. So the way this original plan, the financing plan, went through, they did not use the TIF tax or the CDD, which is a different way to finance big projects. And that's what Carlson wants to do. And in order to do that, they have to move some CRAs around and move money from different CRAs. All of it very plausible, all of it well received within the city and the county government. So that all of his plan seems to be very well received. It's well received by the Buccaneers or by the Rays. We reported that a couple weeks ago, or last week, that Ken Babby was on board with what Carlson is talking about. So as Carlson is the swing vote, this basically paves the way to get this done. Hagan came out last week, the Hillsborough County chairman, and said, we want the city to vote first. So obviously Carlson is the key vote. He's the swing vote. And if he is satisfied with the way this is going to set up, and it shouldn't create any long-term delays or any delays at all, they should get August 27th now, looks like the date. And we'll clarify that with Mr. Carlson, that we could see the city approve this deal, their portion of it, and then conceivably the next day, the county, who is still in a 5-2 affirmative vote position, could vote that, and boom, we're done. Well, we're not done, but we're closer. The shovel's in the ground. And I would caution many of you, when the St. Pete deal was done and I told you the deal's not done, there's still a long way to go. I still don't think Stu Sternberg is going to build this stadium. This looks like a real estate ploy to me, blah, 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 blah. And that's what it turned out to be. That's not what this is, because that deal was inherently bad because it was a bad deal for the taxpayers, number one. And it also counted on Stuart Sternberg coming up with $700 million of his own money, which was never going to happen. So from the very get-go, it smelled bad. That's not what this is. These guys obviously are well capitalized. They have the money. They have the desire, obviously, to get this done because they're going to make even more money. They are developers. They are financiers. They are Tampa Bay born and bred people, many of the limited partners. So, and this deal is an absolute crushing home run for the city and the county in terms of bringing in new revenue, which is badly needed to fix a lot of the infrastructure issues here. Money that they would not have if this deal were not available. They could not, this is a vehicle to bring in 9 million tourists a year, not tourists, but 9 million people a year to the entertainment district, as they do in the Battery and all these other places that are being built. This is the wave of the future because it works. It works great for the city. It works great for the county. It works great for the team. The Atlanta Braves are the absolute pinnacle model of this. They were reporting record revenues outside of baseball season. That's the key. It's 365, 24/7 that they're making money, putting that money back into the baseball team to be successful, because you want to be successful because that draws in more people. What does that mean for you? Bigger payroll, new stadium, more accessible to the entire market. Fucking finally, we are going to do baseball right. And it's not just baseball. It's everything else that comes with it. It's concerts, it's Final Fours, it's Frozen Fours, it's SummerSlam, it's all that. And it's absolutely transformative. And arguably, Tampa Bay will have the best situation to host these big events because we have the weather. We have the Florida weather. We have the beaches. We have 2 major downtown centers. We have all the outdoor recreation that you can't do in Atlanta, in Dallas, in all these other places for Super Bowls. And whatever, an entire winter of major events, this becomes the epicenter of that. We have one of the greatest airports in the world, but this brings it all together. And if you look around, Timmy, and I believe you have some illustrations here, show us what Dallas has already come up with for the new Stars Arena that got passed in a week. This is the one in Plano?
Yes, this is the one in Plano on the old Willow Bend Mall location, which to me is still a somewhat new mall, but I guess malls aren't things anymore.
No.
Oddly enough, both the Mavericks and Stars are building their arenas on former mall sites. So that should tell you something about the real estate in Dallas in the area. So, yesterday they just released the renderings. This is the rendering, of course, of the arena. And literally, so the lights, let me pull some of these things off here so you can see the lights there, the red lights and the white lights. That's our Dallas North Tollway. Okay. So this is on a major thoroughfare here, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you see the green Stars logo, that building, that's the arena. Everything around that you see that's sort of lit up, that's the new development. All of that is all going to be brand new, and it is all an entertainment district.
Wow.
Office space, entertainment, condos, all of it is going in around the arena, and it's all part of the package, and it's already been approved.
Yeah, the live, work, play already been approved. I hate you. But this, if some of these city council folks who are voting no would pull their head out of their posteriors and look at what the rest of the nation is doing and how they're doing it, could they just, we're not interested in that. That's not going to be a win. Everybody else is doing, and that doesn't mean you should do it. But it also says look at trends. You should always look at trends, and the reason everybody's doing it is because it works. It works. And I don't think there's a better situation, especially when you add the Hillsborough College piece of this, then none of these other places are building a college around it, which brings in a lot of people and money and a whole different level of economic impact and community impact. And again, it's just not baseball, it's concerts, it's everything else. And this is going to be a concert venue that is a destination concert venue. That's the way it's being designed. Mm-hmm. So it is an absolute no-brainer, except here in Tampa. So that the county gets it. The city hopefully will get it. Carlson is the swing vote. We're in good shape. As tough as it has been, and ridiculously so, we're in good shape. So we'll move on.
By the way, I gotta point this out, JP. This is one of the funniest comments I've ever seen here that wasn't from Rick. From Buck in 0220. When will they be rebranding the team to the New Delhi Stars? I guess he's familiar with the city of Plano. It's a heavy Indian influence in that area. And
do they like hockey?
I don't think they go to hockey games though, Buckin. But sorry, I just had to go there.
Yeah, we have one of those in Temple Terrace here. So there's a new name of Temple Terrace. Well, whatever. So yeah, it's unfortunately in some plated it's part of the culture. And
anyway, look, they voted on it though. They're citizens, they're residents. Like they had to vote in all of this, and they approved it. So I'm happy.
Well, even those folks like money.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
They're no dummies.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go to the Rays on the field last night, Timmy. As I mentioned, for the first time since 2009, they're down more than 4 in the seventh, and they come back and win it. Lopez started for the A's last night, and he was really good. And he made a lot of Rays batters, especially Carson Williams, look silly. He was just really good with his breaking stuff and was pinpoint. And, it's times like that where you look at this Rays team and you go, man, this offense, right? And then they bring in Seth Johnson, former Rays farmhand, and within 4 pitches, it's 4 runs. Just like boom, 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 boom. 4 pitches for minor leaguer Seth Johnson, writes Topkin. Diaz singles for his 3rd hit of the night. Aranda singled, and Caminero snaps an 0 for 15 with his 34th homer of the season, and it was a bomb. And right back after that, it's a 1-run game. Chandler Simpson gets a nice knock. And boy, is he just hitting the ball tremendously well, getting on base, hits after hits for him. Ryan Valade, the first eight batters reach base, and no outs. Johnny DeLuca singled. Then Chandler with a sharp single right back up the middle makes it 6-6. Fortes walks. Taylor Walls comes up with a 2-run single, just blisters one. The Rays go up 8-6. Pinch hitter Liam Hicks struck out on a ABS call. And then Diaz delivered the sac fly at Aranda, got an RBI single, made it 10-6. Tyler Wells comes in and just blows people away, our new reliever. Yandy Diaz, by the way, started the game with a 440-foot home run, 110 off the bat. So it's, again, this team it continues to find ways to win. They don't quit. They catch everything. They hit. They run. They small ball. They smart ball. They pitch the hell out of it. And Peralta pitched last night. He wasn't spot on, but gave you a quality start. Kept you in the game.
Started slow, but he.
Yeah. Roycroft's awful. We got to get rid of him. So he poured gas on the fire. But then the Rays just come back to win their 7th game in a row. They're now 72-46, 26 games over 500. They're 6 games up on the Yankees in the AL East with 50 some games to play. Mm-hmm. So that's a hefty lead. That is a hefty lead. 44 to play. This team is it's tremendous, and they're going to get better. They're going to get better. A little concerned about Griffin Jacks, who takes his place in the rotation. Hopefully, McClanahan can come back from his issue with his back. It wasn't an arm, not necessarily a shoulder, so hopefully he can come back and continue to give us some good starts. I know he's had a little bit of a lull, but still, it's. I expect Shane to be able to come back and pitch well. So they're in good shape. They're in really good shape. And Snyder's going to put this together. They could still bring up Jacob Melton. I hear people talking about Gavin Lux could come back. I'm not quite sure his situation. But the bottom line is this freaking team, Timmy, is just they're the best team in the American League. I saw Jeff Passan on this morning. And, of course, they talk about the Dodgers coming back to beat the Royals, blah, blah, blah. But the Skubals' second start, which was average at best. But when asked about the best team in the American League, Passan said it's the Rays, and they have been all year long. Mm-hmm. And you doubt them at your peril, but this is a really, really good baseball team. We'll see. Obviously, the postseason is different, and we've got a ways to go. But I don't know how you can't be just tremendously bullish on this team the way they're playing. They're just doing everything right.
Yeah, some takeaways you take from this game. This team hasn't really gone away all year. A 6-2 road deficit in the 8th. You looked dead. You just gave up, 3 runs? And instead, you respond with the biggest inning of the season. Caminero is the centerpiece of this thing. 34 home runs. It's mid-August. And they're not junk home runs. This one came exactly when the team needed it to change the game. Speed is a weapon on this team still with Simpson, DeLuca. Their aggressive base running, small ball. We've been preaching it all year. They're winning with small ball. And they're starting to create some separation in the East. Now it's a 6-game lead over the Yankees, 8 over Boston. And I don't think, and I've been preaching this for a while. We got to stop calling it just a nice story, right? They're not just a nice story anymore. 7 straight wins, first place in the East. Caminero, the centerpiece. This looks like it's a team that's built to play deep into October, man. This isn't just a nice story anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's well said. And, I still have my trepidations about the postseason because we've been burned so many times, especially offensively. So, but whatever, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy watching this team, man, and just enjoy watching the team. They've won 7 in a row, all on the road. Obviously Colorado is not an easy place to play. And they've played well against American League teams that don't often go there, but the Rays just went in there like it was nothing and swept them. And then Seattle, same thing. They bring out on Saturday all their stars. It's Seattle Day, for their 50th anniversary. Doesn't matter. Rays win. They're winning in clutch situations. Big O talks about the one, winning a lot of 4-3 games. They're built to do that. It doesn't bother them. DeLuca had a great night in center field last night. They were down, 6-2 at one point. They could have been down about 10 runs because Peralta was just getting ripped. But they were running down balls in the outfield all over the place. Chandler Simpson ran down a couple of balls. DeLuca ran down about 3 or 4. Now, you botch just one of those, it's a different game. I mean, that's why defense is so freaking important. But that's why this team is good. And it's just, people don't get it because nobody wants to talk about defense. But you look at the metrics, they're a really good defensive team. When you watch them every night, you see plays that are made that just other teams don't play. And then you see other teams making just stupid plays because of the pressure that the Rays are constantly putting on you by running and bunting and these little nubber hits that, you would say, oh, well, that's just luck. No, that's the way they play. They make contact. And this is something that, people don't talk about anymore. Put the ball in play and see what happens. And, it's another thing Big O talks about. The fundamentals of the game aren't as good as they used to be. And so defensively, it's not necessarily errors. It's just plays that guys don't make. They don't make. And, how many times have you seen a guy not make a play? It's hit, just a little bit to his left, a little bit to his right on other teams. They don't make the play. It's not an error, but it's something that a good defensive team makes the play, and it changes the entire game. And that's what the Rays are really, really good at. And that's why they put a lot of stock into, what they're doing is catch the ball and put it in play. Don't strike out. And which they were doing for the last couple of years. And they kind of flipped the switch this year, and it looks a hell of a lot better. This looks a hell of a lot better.
And I tell you something that's not getting, at least I'm not seeing it right now. Nobody's really talking about Kevin Cash and the credit he deserves for all of this.
No.
And possibly AL Manager of the Year conversation. I mean, there have been a lot of moving pieces on this team all year. Yeah. And he has handled it. And we have questioned his moves. We've questioned his lineup lots of times.
Yep.
But he has handled all of this, to a T. With the trade deadline moves, with the injuries, with the rotation. I think he has just handled all of this. Obviously he's not responsible for the roster. That's Neander, but he can working with the pieces he's been given. He has maximized this roster this entire season, and he deserves a ton of credit. And I don't think anybody is talking about him nearly enough.
Yep. Rick brings up a good point. Long West Coast road trips are usually a killer this late in the season. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This team's like, no, we're putting our foot on the gas. Again,
Seattle and Sacramento. Good Lord.
Yeah, and not elite teams, but to his point, that's where, late in the summer, teams are bored and tired and all that shit. You got to go out west. You're not sleeping. These guys are like, yeah, let's go play baseball. Let's go play baseball and win. And they keep doing it. Alex Nunn mentions that Martinez and Rass on the mound to finish the last 2 games. A good chance for a 9-game road sweep. Never had that on my bingo card. Yeah, imagine that. This point of the season. And by the way, those Red Sox, those cheating ass Red Sox, we talked about this yesterday with O. Yeah. When they were on that run, and all of a sudden there's a controversy about PitchCom that came up 4 days ago, that they had some MIT guy hacking into PitchCom.
Yep.
And they were scored 46 runs in 4 games. And as soon as that story broke, they've lost 3 in a row and scored how many runs? 4 runs total.
They can't hit. They can't hit when they're not cheating.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
We better back off the cheating here for a minute.
This 27-4 run may not be what you think it is.
Yeah.
How Boston, how New England. Wow. That's a story that I'm sure MLB is going to try to bury, but it does not look good on the Red Sox. Very, very interesting. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Scott Reynolds is going to join us from Pewter Report. His minions are up in New York watching all the joint practices with the Jets. So we'll get a check-in with Pewter Report and find out what's happening with the Bucs. And I want to go over this Quinnen Williams deal with him vis-a-vis Vita Vea. And you too, Timmy. I want you part of this discussion. Why the hell are the Cowboys paying a defensive tackle into his 30s and $35 million, by the way? But the Bucs can't seem to find
Quinnen's only 28, JP.
I know, but they guaranteed his contract through 2030.
Yeah, they did.
So that's what I'm looking at. Why are we not doing that? So we'll talk about that. We're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa, part of the Murphy Auto Group. Mike Murphy, the great guy you see on all the Rays commercials. They've got the Miracle Toyota over in Haines City and Genesis of Tampa, where I bought my GV70. Could not be more thrilled with my car. The value that I got for this top-of-the-line midsize SUV, the performance of the car, the luxury of the car is absolutely off the chain for what I paid. And they gave me a great value for my trade-in. I got the valet service. What more could you want? They're making deals at Genesis of Tampa with the best car line on the planet, in my opinion. So go check it out. We're talking about 801 East Bears Avenue right there in North Tampa. Back in 3 with Scott Reynolds. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. one bad idea. And with the Gold and Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, well, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Go check it out. Rays, Wings, Riveters, baseball, all that good stuff. There's always happy hour during Rays games. So as we get through here in August, September, and October, where the Rays will be playing in October, no better place to watch it than Riveters. They're part of the Rays Watch Party family. They do all kinds of swag giveaways and, of course, the great food and the drinks at Riveters. Go check them out right there on Dale Mabry, right next to that old spaceship. All right, let's chat with our good friend Scott Reynolds. We gave you a little time off during the summer here, Scotty, although I know you've been working your ass off. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you, man.
Appreciate it.
People have been asking, where's our Pewter Report, guys? Is that we're back. That time we got to give them a little bit of time off. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'll jump right into this. You got your minions up there at New Jersey watching the practice. Any intel yet? What's going on?
Yes, Alex Anzalone picked off Geno Smith already.
Really?
All right.
They did. It just happened. Our intrepid reporter Matt Matera just tweeted that out on the X machine about 2 minutes ago. So
make sure you follow Pewter Report, follow Maddie there. And we really appreciate you guys going up there. And I noticed you're not in New York.
I am not in New York.
Yeah, you pick. You're a vet. You're a wily veteran. You pick and choose your spots, don't you?
Well, yeah. And the thing is Matt is from that area,
nice,
Massapequa. So he knows where all the bodega are, and I don't. So why would I want to go up there and have to learn the terrain?
You don't need that.
I don't need that. Yeah. So
I mean, if you're going to go though, now's the time of year you want to go. You don't want to go in wintertime.
Okay.
I
have no desire to go to New York. I just
I'm with you.
Yeah, I have no desire. I mean, I love Florida. I'm happy here in Florida. I'm going to be in Jacksonville for the joint practices against the Fighting Liam Cohens in about 2 weeks. So I'll be there.
Yeah, I might head over there
practices.
For that. I might head over there for that. That's always a nice little trip over there to Jacksonville.
I think the funniest thing is there are so many Bucs fans that are still gripping over Liam Cohen, and maybe it's the fact that I don't know, he went across the state with no assistant coaches and got 13 wins, right? Which was the most wins in Bucs history was a 13-win season in 2021. We just celebrated 50 years of Bucs football. And had one 13-win season. That dude goes across the state to the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence and took a 4-13 team, turned it upside down to a 13-4 team, made the playoffs, won the division. So, but a lot of fans, maybe it's jealousy, I don't know, but they still Liam Cohen. But the Bucs are totally fine with Liam Cohen. I was there at the NFL annual meeting and I saw Jason Light yucking it up with Liam Cohen.
Just business.
obviously, it's just business. They obviously plan these joint practices. Todd and Liam spoke for the past 2 years now at the NFL annual meeting. There's no bad blood whatsoever. It was a little angsty when it first kind of happened,
Sure.
the way it went down. But ultimately, you can't knock a guy for taking a head coaching opportunity. There's 32 of those, so it's water under the bridge now. Though I know fans are still hanging on to that. Maybe it's a little bit of
and they're like, "Oh, he played a last place schedule. Wait till he play." I don't care. You won 13 games with that team in the NFL. That's a hell of a job.
Like the NFC South is any better than the AFC South?
Right,
I mean,
right.
Come on.
Yeah, and listen, we got the next best thing in Zach Robinson, and that's why
I agree.
I'm so excited about this offense and watching. We can't talk too much about structure, but watching practice and watching it return to what Liam Cohen does, the wide zone, having Baker on the move constantly. He's so good in that space. It's just really, it's so much eye candy for the defense to have to sort out. And by the time you do, it's too late. I just love what I see out there. I love the additions in Ted Hurst and Gainwell, which I think are going to be huge additions. The return of Jalen McMillan, I think you agree he's going to have a big year. And contract or no, Baker's going to deal. And I think he's going to have a huge year if he stays healthy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I do believe that Baker's going to have a very good season for sure. The offense, I think, has maybe been a little underwhelming. I thought that with more continuity, and let's keep in mind, the best player on the team, Tristan Wirfs. I mean, he is by far the most talented and the best player. He's not there. He is a difference maker. When he's not there, the offensive line is good. When he is there, the offensive line is elite. So let's keep that in mind, because he is an absolute blindside eraser for Baker Mayfield in terms of pass protection. He is a mauler in the run game. He can get out with his athleticism on the screen game. So then there's a huge drop-off to Ben Chickwilma and Justin School. We all can agree with that, right?
Yes.
So having said that, the offense does remind me more of Liam Cohen's offense, which is short, rhythmic passes, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly and into the hands of the playmakers. I've seen that. The deep shots are fewer and far between. Josh Grizzard wanted to push the ball down the field. The problem with that, it's not Baker's game. And the problem with that last year is you had 2 replacement guards. So you're immediately getting pressure in Baker's face up the middle, and you're asking him to hang on to the ball a tick longer, because the route adjustments were under Liam. A 7-yard crosser, was a quick, it's a, from shotgun, it's a 1-step throw, right? Well, that crosser was elongated to like 12 yards, right? Because Josh wanted to pick up first downs in chunks. Okay, in theory, again, no Cody Mauch, no Ben Bredesen for a good chunk of the year. And Baker didn't have that extra tick that was necessary to, go back, hang. And these receivers had to go 5 more yards down the field in terms of their depth.
Doesn't work.
And Chris Godwin is not Tyreek Hill, right? I mean, it takes old man a little bit longer to go those extra 5 yards. So same thing with Emeka Egbuka. Jalen McMillan was out a lot. We know that Mike Evans was out as well. Tez was learning the offense. It just didn't work. And I think now this is more suited to Baker's strength, where it's get the ball out. And we've seen a little bit of Liam. We've also seen, without giving too much away, a lot of what maybe Bijan Robinson was doing in the passing game with Bucky Irving and Kenny Gainwell. And maybe if you go back to, I don't know, week 1, the first touchdown the Bucs defense allowed in the first quarter, Servassier Dennis in the trail position behind Bijan Robinson. If you use your imagination, that's kind of what we're seeing a little bit out there. So it's screens to receivers, tight ends, running backs. It's a lot of short passes. And then it's like you suck that defense up and then hit them down the field with a pass to, Emeka Egbuka, J-Mac when he's healthy, Ted Hurst. We saw that the other day. So I like it. It's not an offense that I think is like going to be super explosive. But if you go back and look at Liam Cohen's offense, it was explosive on the scoreboard, but it was just a chain moving kind of offense.
Mm-hmm.
Because Baker was completing 71.4% of his passes. When you do that, you move the chains and you keep the drives going. And sometimes when you take those shots, and you're taking a shot from 42-yard line and you're trying to, get a chunk play on first down or second down, all of a sudden, you don't get that conversion. And now it's Chase McLaughlin time, where I think with Liam Cohen, it was more, hey, we're going to keep driving into the red zone, then into the lower red. We're going to keep driving until we get into the end zone.
Right.
And I like that. The flip side of it is, these joint practices are going to be interesting because, again, the Bucs offense has looked good but not great. It's not like they're going out there and just lighting up this defense. No. And I kind of expected them to maybe do that because this defense on any given down has 4 rookie starters out there. And 5 new players. That's almost half the defense is brand spanking new. Alex Anzalone, Josiah Trotter. It's a very good thing compared to last year. But you've got Alex Anzalone, Josiah Trotter, 2 new linebackers. You have Reuben Bain, a rookie at edge. You've got a rookie at cornerback, sometimes 2 with Keontae Scott and Aiden Garnes on the field. And it's not like they're getting picked on or like getting schooled. I think these rookies are actually holding their own. You can tell they're mature. They're serious about their game. They have high football IQs. I think the biggest surprise at camp is how quickly Todd Bowles' defense has come together. And maybe that's part of having an experienced play caller on the other side where Todd doesn't have to babysit the rookie first-time play caller anymore. Maybe he's just saying, hey, Zach, I'll check in on you, but I'm going to go concentrate on, the defense, my side of the ball. So I love the fact that the defense actually came out and dominated the first week of practice. We saw the offense kind of strike back on Sunday. It was way more balanced, and I think maybe even the offense was slightly better. And no interceptions either. That was a good thing. We've seen a lot of picks from the defense, which you love to see, and you don't really care that Baker or Jake Browning's throwing interceptions because this is the time to do them.
Right.
So
see what you can get away with. Absolutely. All right. So let's go. I want to talk about this because it's kind of breaking news, and we've hit Baker's contract, which I'll just say, if you look at the comps around the league, those guys are getting paid long-term deals. Baker is not. Same thing with Vita Vea, and it just happened again with Quinnen Williams. Now, I understand Quinnen Williams is 3 years younger than Vita Vea, although he's entering his 7th season. Vita's entering his 9th. There's a 2-year difference. I go by seasons, not necessarally age.
Yeah, but Vita was 25 when he entered the league, so he was an older player too. So the bigger point is the Cowboys just guaranteed his contract through 2030 when he is going to be 31 years old. Did I get that right? No, into his 11th and 12th season. I'm going by the seasons. Which is where Vita 10, 11, and 12, they just guaranteed the Cowboys did at $35 million. He's younger. It matters.
But I'm talking about no, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. They guaranteed his contract in his 10th, 11th, and 12th seasons. Right. So they're paying him when he's older. I'm looking into the future. They're paying him $35 million.
He's going to be 31 in that final year of his deal.
But he's going to have only 2 seasons.
How old is Vita right now? Vita's 31.
But he's entering his 9th season. He's entering his 9th season.
But Vita played through his senior year.
They're guaranteeing his 9th. But
Quinnen Williams came out as a sophomore. So I'm just telling you, this is the reason. And the reason is Vita's 31. And this team, you go back through from Simeon Rice to Shaq Barrett, to JPP, and Ndamukong Suh was still good up until 32. At age 33,
35 years old, he was good.
35, he was with the Eagles. So
he played with the Buccaneers when he was 35 years old.
Well, the last year
and won the Super Bowl when he was 34, I believe. So he played.
I'm going to fact check you on that.
Yeah, fact check me on that because I went back and looked it up, and that's what I remember. But my memory is not very good. And I think talking to Charlie Strong, who coached him last year, he believes Vita's got 3 good years left in him. And this is a Cowboys team that's guaranteeing him $35 million. Vita's not asking for that.
He was 33. Suh was 33 when he won the Super Bowl. His last year and Tampa was 34. He was done by then. And then he played with the Eagles at age 35. But so we're both kind of right. Yeah. But I'll say this is Vita's last year in Tampa. It just is.
Look, and I will tell you this too, from the Quinnen Williams standpoint in the Cowboys, if Quinnen Williams is 31 years old right now, they're not giving him this contract.
Right.
They're giving him this contract because he's 28.
The other thing too is
how much draft capital but they're guaranteeing the contract till he's 31 years old, 32 years old.
Okay, so
season.
They have every intention of paying Vita Vea his final year contract right now. So it's essentially guaranteed because they're going to pay him what he's supposed to make, which is over $17 million.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think
at the end of the day, he might get a raise. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come right down to the season opener, and they're going to say, Vita, hey, listen, and this is just my speculation. I've not heard this from team sources. My guess is to get him on the field, they're going to say, Vita, here's $2-3 million extra. We'll get you up to $20 million. Go play this year, and then we'll see what happens after this year. But Vita's not going to be back.
I agree with that, by the way.
Yeah, this is his final year in Tampa, and then they're going to let him go.
And I disagree with that.
Some team will pay him a huge amount of money at age 32 next year, 32, and he's going to get a big contract, and the Buccaneers will get a high compensatory draft pick as a result 2 years from now.
Probably the Eagles. That's what they do.
Probably the Eagles, yeah. And the funny thing is,
they'll win another Super Bowl because of it.
The funny thing is you've got Bucs fans that are livid every year around draft time because they're like, why are the Eagles and the Ravens getting all these compensatory draft picks? We don't get any. It's because Jason Light has re-signed all these players. That's what happens. When you re-sign your players, they don't hit free agency. They don't go elsewhere. You don't get the compensatory picks. But when they do, which is rare, and we've seen that now with Mike, we're going to see it with Vita, might see it with Yaya Diaby if David Walker shows up this year. Might see it with Yaya Diaby. Yeah. He's going to get, $25 million next year? Maybe $30 million if he blows up opposite Ruben Bain. And you got Ruben Bain and David Walker on their rookie deals for at least 2 more years with Walker and 4 more years with Bain. Yeah. So I'm just saying,
who are you going to pay? So who are you going to pay? We got the cap's going up to $325 next year. Yeah. The Bucs will have essentially $40 million in its regular space, $127 million they can clear through other contracts. They got tons of cap space. So if they're not going to pay Yaya, not going to pay Baker, they're not going to pay.
No, they'll pay Baker.
They're going to pay Baker. Who are they going to pay?
They're going to pay Baker, and they're going to pay Cody Mount because you got to have your franchise quarterback have the best offensive line in front of him.
Absolutely.
And so I think Cody is going to be, if Cody has a good year, he's going to be the favorite son out of all of the free agents here. He's a second-round pick too, so it's not like that's not a surprise. But and it's not like they don't like Vita. They love Vita. And it's not like they don't like Yaya. They love Yaya. Yaya, for all Jason's faults, right? He can't draft an edge rusher. Yaya's been his best edge rusher that he's ever drafted, outside of Ruben Bain, of course, now.
And he got him in the 3rd round, right?
He got him in the 3rd round. It's a good pick, good player. But you can't afford to keep everybody. And the other thing, too, is you've got to create some space for that next wave of guys that are going to want to be cashing in, right? And, at the same time, what if Chris Godwin has, a 1,200-yard season this year and Chris looks like old Chris.
If he stays healthy, he will because he gets every throw from Baker.
Right. So I know some people are like in their mind saying, well, that's $22 million you can just cut right there to re-sign, Vita or whatever. No. And then it's like, do you want to get rid of Baker, your $55 million quarterback? Do you want to get rid of his guard? Do you want to get rid of his number 1 target? The leader of your room that is still grooming Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Tez Johnson, and Ted Hurst? Do you want to do that with all of the injuries that this team has had at wide receiver? You want to collect as many great receivers as you can for Baker. So
you're saying that they're going to pay Baker. Why don't they pay him now? It'll never be cheaper.
Well, they wanted to, but they wanted to only do a 2-year extension past this. And the thing is what Baker's people are saying is, well, we want a Jordan Love deal. We want a Trevor Lawrence deal. We want a Brock Purdy deal. And the Bucs are like, great, that's fine. In terms of the average per year, we're willing to go in that range. Keep in mind, California's taxes a lot higher than Florida, right? So So the contract that Brock Purdy gets at $53 million, if the Bucs offer Baker 50, and I'm not trying to do math here in my head on live on your podcast, but it's kind of comparable, right? 50 here in Florida, 53 out there in tax you to death, California, right? So it's kind of like an even deal. Problem is, Brock Purdy's 26. Jordan Love is 27. Trevor Lawrence is 26. So you're talking 5-year difference or 4-year difference between these quarterbacks. Oh, and by the way, Baker's coming off of a season where got really dinged up, didn't play well down the stretch. Not that he was the reason why they lost,
Right.
but he didn't do enough to help them win those games either because he couldn't. So, and I think the Buccaneers on a short-term basis wanted to say, we'll give you a short-term deal only because we don't know. Are you the Pro Bowl 41 touchdown, 4,500 yards, 71.4 completion percentage guy that you were under Liam Cohen, that you could be again under Zach Robinson?
A good offensive coordinator and a good offensive line.
If you are, you're worth that money, and we'll give it to you. Yeah. But you've had 2 years, Canales and this year, where you didn't even throw 30 touchdowns. And this offense didn't come close to getting around 30 points per game. It was, I think, 23 points per game under Canales, and it was about the same last year, right?
Yeah.
So that's a 7 touchdown differential. You go back and you add 7 points to the score of every Bucs game last year. Guess what? They win the division. They're in the playoffs.
Easily.
Okay. Yeah. But they, as bad as Todd Bowles' defense was, this is the unwritten story from last year. That offense, and you can blame the injuries because that's a valid reason / excuse, however you want to look at it. But that offense scored 7 points less per game. That is a touchdown, folks. Go back and add 7 to those games. And, this team wins the division and they're in their playoffs. You're back to 10 wins. So that's got to happen. And I think that's what this team is curious about is we want to pay you, and maybe it's going to end up costing us $55 million. Maybe Trevor Lawrence in state, who got the $55 million, we have to come up a little bit there. But you know what? This team has shown it's willing to do that. It did that with Antoine Winfield Jr., making him the highest paid defensive back in the NFL for a minute. And not just safety, but defensive back. This team is also given really fair market, almost top of market deals to Chris Godwin twice, including once when Baker Mayfield was here to witness it, coming off devastating knee and ankle injuries. So I think Jason, and I tried to kind of like get that out there during the press conference. I'm like, do you feel like that since you've been fair to these free agents that have come up, and let's face it, Mike, since Baker's been here, Mike has had to play in 2 contract years. Chris has had to play in 1.
They got injured in one of them, and they still paid him.
Yeah, they still paid him.
Yep.
So, and Jason's like, yeah, I hope so. I hope that he thinks that we're going to be fair and all this, and I think they will. What's their option? Jalen Daniels.
So why not
Jake Browning
now? Why not guarantee the extra year? We're squabbling over 1 year when he's 34 years old. And
Josh, I'm not going to ruin it. Josh Gapo, I think, has the reason.
What's that?
And I'm not sure. You're going to have to read it today on pewterreport.com. But it's something that enlightened me.
Dog.
Yeah. But read it. I didn't think about this because my brain does not work when it comes to math.
Yeah.
Josh's brain does. And there's a little thing called escrow that owners have to do with guaranteed contracts.
Right. Oh, so it comes down to cash flow. Yeah, we talked, and that's what bothersome is who has more cash than the Glazers, for God's sakes.
Well, but it's not just who has the cash, but when you have to put that guaranteed money aside, and that's what the NFL collective bargaining agreement calls for.
Yeah,
you have to set aside the guaranteed money. So if you guarantee Baker $140 million, okay, let's just throw that number out there.
Yeah,
you have to take that money out of your bank where you cannot collect interest on it. There is no liquidity in that. You cannot invest that money. You cannot buy anything else with that money. You have to take that money and you have to give it to the NFL and park it into an escrow account. And you can't touch it. So it's different. It's different when you have guaranteed money for Ruben Bain or Tristan Wirfs, and it's $7 million here. It's $10 million here. This is a different stratosphere, right?
You're saying these other teams do this all the time, but the Glazers don't want to do it?
They've never had to do it before.
I know, but the other teams do it all the time.
Well, but not every team does it either. How many quarterbacks, how many contracts are out there that have quarterbacks making $50 million or more? I mean, I think we're talking what at this point?
It's about 14,
12?
I think. Yeah,
12 maybe 14, right?
Yeah,
so
that's like that.
That's less than half the league.
Yeah,
less than half the league is doing this. The highest, the biggest contract this team has ever paid out to anyone in the history of the Buccaneers, the Glazers paid $100 million over 3 years to Baker Mayfield. That's an average of $33.3.
And how much of that was guaranteed, as I recall? 70?
I want to somewhere in that neighborhood.
60, yeah. I think it was 60. But
then they guaranteed this year.
Yeah,
right?
it was two upfront guaranteed,
right.
like 60. And then they
so
back
it ended up being fully guaranteed, but they did that at the last minute. And again, whenever you guarantee a year, you got to put that in escrow.
And not at one time. So they had to put 60, and then the 34, I think, came in 2 years later. So
you have to, your point,
they didn't have to put like 90.
Yeah, you have to put 2 years worth of escrow. Okay, and if it's a 3-year thing, like let's just do real simple math. Let's say it's $150 million guaranteed money over 3 years, $50 million a year. Let's just use that to not fry my brain. The Blazers have to put $100 million in there, into escrow. Right. And they can't touch it. And then, and obviously it's going to get paid to Baker. Like here's your $50 million. And then when he gets to the third year, they essentially, here's your $50 million. They take it from escrow. Here's $50 million, right? So you have $50 million left. Then they got $50 million more in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So for multiple years, that's $100 billion. They can't touch. They can't invest. There's no liquidity. They can't do anything with it. And I'm not saying that's the reason why. I think age and injury and curiosity about how much are you worth, and do we really want to tie up this much money into a quarterback? What if he gets hurt? I mean, this is a contract, or this is a situation too. Then it was a freak thing, but freak things can happen. But they gave Ryan Jensen a shit ton of money. He was the highest paid center, and he goes out there the first day of training camp, essentially has a career-ending knee injury.
It's rolled up on,
They made Shaq Barrett a really wealthy man in 2021 after he played on the franchise tag in 2020. Won a Super Bowl. They gave him a huge 4-year deal. He goes out there in the first year, earns it, right? 13 wins, 10 sacks, Pro Bowl season. The second year, he's a year older. I want to say he was 30 that year. Not the same player. Got hurt on Thursday night against the Ravens, tore his Achilles. Was never the same player.
Never the same, yeah.
So,
at that point.
So they got 1 year of really good money and good production from Shaq out of a 4-year deal. The other 3 years, I don't say it was a waste, but he certainly didn't live up to that contract.
And that happens to all teams. It happens to all teams. There's risks to every contract you sign. Right. It's part of the deal. You just have to decide.
Even the players admitted last year, they're like, hey, we want to keep Chris. We know the Patriots are offering him $26 million per year. We're going to pay him $22. He took less money, hometown discount to stay here. And Jason Light even said, we want to re-sign Chris, and this is really more for 2026 than it is 2025. They were not expecting him to come back and have 1,000 last year. Yeah. So everybody knew that. But now this is the year where it's like, okay, Chris, if you want to stay a Buccaneer and earn this money, you better go out there on the field and do it. And I'll tell you what, he's had a really, really, really good training camp.
Oh, awesome.
He's been the best receiver, in my opinion, in terms of consistency. At this stage of the game, he is a glorified possession receiver, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in this offense.
Yeah.
He's
going to get a ton of targets. Yeah, absolutely. I think his over-under is like 650 yards, or it was a few weeks ago.
I would smash the over on that. The only thing, if he's healthy.
And he Gainwell as well. Gainwell's going to get a ton of carries, and he'll probably I think Gainwell will get more touches than any Buccaneer this year if he stays.
I agree. I think you're spot on there. Yeah, between catches and carries, I totally see that.
All right, I'll let you get back to watching what's going on.
We got some more. We got some breaking news here.
Yes,
Luke Henneke, fight with David Bailey. We have a skirmish out there in New York. We have a pick six by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pepe Williams picked off Geno Smith. That's the second interception. Alex Anzalone had one. Pepe Williams had one. This is breaking news right here. I'm not even at the
awesome.
I'm getting the feed right here. live from New York into my head here and relaying it here on the JP Peterson.
That is
Oh,
awesome.
Gino,
I love
what are they gonna
technology
do
when
with quarterback?
it works. By the way, I cashed my Luke Gedeke will get in a fight ticket. That was like minus 5,000.
I
I didn't win much money. There was no value there because it was going to happen. But anyway, we won. Yeah. All right, Scotty, tell everybody about the content coming up on Pewter Report. A ton of good stuff today, obviously.
We have a training camp joint practice podcast today. Probably going to push that back to either 6 or 8 o'clock. Okay. Talking with Matt Matera right now, and he said he needs some travel time to get back to be able to really kind of get into the podcast. So look for that later today on Pewter Report TV.
I'll be listening.
Time to be determined. Also doing the Bucs Collective tonight. That's my little moonlighting gig with fellow Bucs beat reporters Greg Allman and Rick Stroud. We do that every Tuesday night on the Bucs Collective at 7 p.m. Thank you. And of course, you can follow all of our exploits up there in New York. Matt Matera is our guy on the scene at Pewter Report on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, pewterreport.com has all of the Bucs news from training camp that you want to read right there on the website, pewterreport.com.
All right, good, because there's nothing else to watch tonight. So we got you at 7, you guys 7 to 8, and then we got your podcast from 8, and then we got the Rays at 9:40. Don't bleed your podcast into the Rays. I know you don't know about baseball, but we got a great baseball game.
And I'll try not to do that just for you.
9:40. Be done by 9:40 so we can get through the Rays games too. All right, fair enough.
Hope to be in bed by 9:40. So that's the goal.
Good, perfect. Thank you, Scotty. Great stuff, man. Appreciate it as always. All right. I love when we get into a nice juicy debate there, but I just think Vita's going to have a couple more good years, and I'd rather have him playing here than other places. I understand the age of defensive tackles. I think he's different. I just think he's different. And, Quinnen, they guaranteed Quinnen in year 10, 11, and 12 of his seasons for him. And this will be year 9 for Vita Vea. Year 9, 10, and 11, I would lock him up for him because I think he's that good. I think he's that important. But it's clear that the Bucs have a succession, and Scotty's 100% right. They have a succession plan for Vita Vea with all these other guys that they brought in with Deshaun Robinson and Jones and Simmons and all these big guys in the middle. But they're not Vita Vea.
So when you say pay Vita Vea, what number in your head is Vita Vea money annually?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at this Quinnen Williams deal, and it's 35.5 AAV.
Well, yeah, but Quinnen Williams is infinitely better than Vita Vea.
I don't know about that. He's younger.
Oh, okay.
He's younger. He's younger, and he's a really good.
Vea.
He's a good player. I would disagree with that. I mean,
I think he's the top 3 defensive tackle in the league.
I think Vita Vea is top 3 defensive tackle in the league. Now they're 2 different players.
Okay.
Quinnen's 6'3", 308, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vita's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 350. They're 2 different players. Although Vita has more sacks than Quinnen, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. It's playing different systems. Yeah.
Yeah. We can look that up. But I think they're both dominant defensive tackles. Okay. You can't play your defense without them. I think they're both top 3. And again, Vita's not asking for $35 million, even though the Cowboys just paid this guy $35 million in years 10, 11, and 12 of his career. Even though he's younger now, what I'm looking at is they guaranteed this money in his 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th seasons in the league. Vita Vea is going into his 9th season in the league. So if it was a comparable contract to what Quinnen Williams is getting, you would be asking, if you were Vita's agent, for $35 million for 3 more years. That would be comparable. Now I'm not paying Vita Vea that kind of money.
Right.
I think this contract, honestly, is a little top heavy at the end, like a lot top heavy at the end. But I get it. I think these special defensive tackles are worth it. Right. I think I would, if I could sign Vita Vea, extend him for this year and 2 more years and guarantee him, right? So 3 more years, seasons 9, 10, and 11 for Vita Vea at $25 million a year. I think you're getting a bargain. I think you're getting a bargain for a guy like that. All now, that's a risk for a big defensive tackle. Well, it's a risk for Quinnen Williams. It's a risk for Cam Hayward. It's a risk for a lot of these big guys that are getting paid. Now, most of them are younger. I get it. But again, Vita's not asking for top of the market money. We don't think,
Right.
I mean, what we're hearing is he's looking for 3 more years at, 24 to $25 million.
And he probably wants it all guaranteed.
I would think. Yeah. Now I would come back with, I'll give you, 60 guaranteed over the next 3 years. I think, so that third year becomes kind of a not really guaranteed year. But if you're playing at that level, you keep playing at that level, you're going to make that money. So I don't know. I just have a different, and again, the cap going up and the Bucs with a lot of flexibility in their cap, to me, he's way more important. Now, listen, you can sit there and say, well, he could get injured and you could lose the money. And I totally get that, but that's with any player.
That's anybody. That's
any player
argument. Yeah.
And it's just the risk of the game. It sucks when that happens to Shaq Barrett. It sucks when guys don't do that, but
here's a difference too, JP, is Quinnen Williams was under contract, not just through 2026. He was under contract through 2027.
Right. It was 2 years early.
Yeah. They extended him 2 years early.
And by the way,
that's very un-Cowboys like. They never do that.
Yeah, I don't think this is a great contract. I really don't.
I do.
You think it's good?
I pay him a wonderful contract. Yeah,
that much money. Well, I'm sitting here saying $35 million, and in his 12th season, 10th, 11th, and 12th seasons. I think that you want to talk about a risk. I think that's a lot of money. But that being said, he's that good, and by the time we get there, it's going to look cheap. There's going to be defensive tackles making $70 million probably by that time, because the cap could be freaking $600 million by then.
And again, age was a big factor of it. He's only 28 right now. So when you're talking about his 10, 11, 12 years, he's younger than most guys will be in those same years in their career. So that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And this, because he came out early, this is his 8th season. Now, and this I think is a distinction as well. To me, you get way more tread on your tires playing in the NFL. Okay, so to me, he's played 7 seasons. Vita's played 9 seasons. But to Scott's point, Vita came out 2 years older.
Right.
So to me, I look at the seasons you've played in the NFL, not necessarily your age. Okay. What's your playing age? How many years you've been in the league? This will be Quinnen's eighth year. Yeah, 8th year. I think that's correct. And it's just going to be Vita's 9th year. So they're closer in terms of their service in the tread on their tires. So, but age does matter. It does still matter. I get that. But to me, how many years you played in the league is more important than your age, especially as a defensive tackle.
And here's another very important aspect of this for the Cowboys, as I discussed on my Cowboys Daily Blitz this morning live at 7 a.m. when I was talking about what this means for the George Pickens contract. The Cowboys, they've been called cheap, they've been called frugal, however you want to describe it. They are now showing a willingness to pay the guys that they believe are their core guys, okay? They believe Quinnen Williams is a core guy for their future, all right, at 28 years old. George Pickens, they're not paying him. He's on the franchise tag this year.
Right.
He's probably going away because they've already got CeeDee Lamb, obviously, that they're paying. They've got Dak that they're paying very heavily. So them paying Quinnen Williams $35.3 million a year over the next 4 years, pretty much fully guaranteed, that tells you that they think he is a core guy for the next at least 4 years on their defense. Do the Buccaneers believe that Vita Vea is a core guy on their defense for the next 3 to 4 years? That's a big part of it. I mean, I don't know if they do or not. That's something they have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I listen, I think both of these guys are superstars and they change defenses dramatically. And, even Todd Bowles has said that. Just turn on the tape and watch it. He just mashes people unlike anybody in the league. He drives 330-pound centers back into the quarterback like they're on skates. He demands a double team on every single pass play. And that opens up so much for everybody else. And
so who,
I don't want to play
opinion,
without him.
Yeah, no, and I get it. I love Vita Vea, but who, in your opinion, is more important to this defense right now and in the next 2 or 3 years? Is it Yaya or is it Vita?
Vita. Because you got Bain and Walker, maybe. I don't want to say it, but if I had to pick, Vita.
Okay.
Yaya's a good player. He's not great.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What is he topped out at? 7.5 sacks?
But they're talking about paying Yaya Diaby and not Vita Vea.
Oh, I would disagree with that. Right. And it kind of depends on what Bain and Walker do. I mean, if Walker becomes that guy that can get double-digit sacks, can be a Shaq Barrett, that type guy opposite Bain, well, then, yeah, you want Vita Vea. He's that special. I don't want to see either one of them go, and you should be able to keep both of them. I mean, other teams, yeah. Again, and this escrow thing that Scott's talking about, this is real. It's a big deal,
yeah,
because that's real cash that you got to take out of your bank account and put into escrow, and it's about cash flow. And some teams just don't give a rip. They got huge
reserves,
and they just do that, and the Bucs should too. I mean, they own Manchester United. They sold a piece for $1.75 billion. The NFL teams are extremely popular and profitable. Right. I mean, I don't know. This should not be a money issue at all.
Well,
it seems like it is.
Again, to take it back to the Cowboys and their situation, they can pay Quinnen Williams and they can pay George Pickens if they want to. They have the money to do all of it. The question is, do they want to pay both? Is that priority the same priority they have on Quinnen Williams? Do they have that priority on George Pickens? And I don't think they do, and that's why I don't think they're going to pay him. They're going to put that money somewhere else. It's the same question for the Bucs. Do they have the same priority on Vita Vea that they do on Baker that they got to pay too? I mean, you could pay both. I'm sure they could pay both if they wanted to. The question is, do they want to do it?
Right.
And whether that's right or wrong, they'll be criticized and scrutinized for that after they're both gone. So
yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. And then again, this is why Jason Light gets all the money. This is why this is why they make decisions, and they're tough decisions. You got to, listen to idiots like me and fans, say you're wrong. You should be doing this, but that's part of it. I mean, I love Jason, and he's done a hell of a fucking job. In my mind, I think he's done a tremendous job here under a lot of trying circumstances. And, we may disagree, and he knows a lot more about cash flow and, where they want to direct money in the future and other things that are going on that I'll never know. Yeah. So it comes down to this. Do you trust him? Yeah, I trust him. I absolutely do. I just, from my vantage point and what we do, we got to look at the information that's available to us and make a call and have an opinion, have a take, and go with it. And we all discuss it. That's the fun of sports. That's what we're doing here. It's not personal. I'm not sitting here calling him names and stuff. Except good and great. He's done a fantastic job. I don't know what more you can ask for. So he brought Tom Brady here and won a Super Bowl, for God's sake, and kept your team competitive and into the playoffs. I mean, bottom line is that there's tons of teams in this league that would kill for that record.
We talk about college coaches, and when they win a national championship, that buys you a good 5 years of doing whatever the hell you want, right? At that program, I think it used to. I mean, Jason Light's going to get some passes for just bringing Brady in and winning that Super Bowl, right? I mean,
you would think. Yeah.
Well, we're now 6 years removed, 5 years removed from it, though. Now, so
yeah, but they've in a crappy division, but they've gone to the playoffs. Yeah. 3 out of the 4 years. So there's one other team in the league that can say that over that span, and that was the Chiefs. So, I'd say that's a pretty good job.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to get to your comments, and then we got Bill Carlson coming up at 11:30. So, quick break. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, soon to be Gallagher Insurance. Same great customer service, but more options, which means you can save more money. Let them do all the work, do all the research, check all the companies. You save all the money. Just give them a call, 813-877-7799. One of the best small businesses in Tampa Bay, as named by the Chamber of Commerce. It's Italiano Insurance. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Hey, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing. We love those guys over there. They'll stand behind their work. That's the big thing about Pitch Roofing. They're here for the long term. So many of these roofing companies are in, they're out, they don't stand behind their work, and they do shoddy work. You want someone that's going to do quality work and be there to honor that warranty that you're getting. And those roofers are few and far between, but Pitch Roofing, that's what they're all about. So give them a call over there. Go to their website, check them out, get them to come out, give you an estimate, see how much roof life you have left. They'll explain the whole process to you, how it all works with insurance and everything else. And if there is a hurricane, you want to know who your roofer is going to be and be able to get on their preferred client list. That's pitchroofing.com. All right, Bill Carlson coming up here at 11:30. Want to get to some of your comments. Nathan Elliott says Tristan not practicing is why the defense looks so good. There is also something wrong with Gedeke. Nobody is talking about how he has looked at practice. I thought he's looked good, except maybe a few reps against Ruben Bain, which is also a good thing. Buckin says Quentin Williams is also better than Vita Vea. I don't know. I think it's pretty close. Don Pudge says $22 million is not too much for Godwin when the rest of the receivers are all on rookie contracts. It's a good point. Nathan Stout, good morning to you, said, Scott, instead of saying Baker didn't do this or Baker didn't do that, ask what quarterbacks would have been able to do what Baker did with the Bowles-Grizzard combo, bottom 5 defense and no offensive line. No, Scott admitted to that. He definitely admitted to that, and you're spot on. I agree. Scott just admitted it. Glazers are happy being middle of the pack. Can't be higher in the top 15 teams quarterbacked. Pathetic. That's from Rick. Aviation says, I saw the Raiders wanted to pay Mendoza over 5 years instead of all up front. Mendoza's team said they wanted to invest that money. I'm sure the Raiders were looking to do the same thing. Yeah, you see, that's something that's popped up. And it's weird. And the players aren't having any of that nonsense.
We have a Rays super chat. I don't know if you got to Alex Nunn's super chat earlier.
No, let's hit that up. Thank you, Alex Nunn, for your super chat and your subscription. So not only cash, but you're missing the key piece, new ownership. Babby alone has brought great vibes and truly involved in the team. Been years since Rays fans can say that. Oh, you are 100% right, Alex Nunn. You're nailing that. I think this new ownership group and what they've injected into the clubhouse, I think guys know that they're going to get paid instead of this, this finality of knowing that if you get really, really good, they're eventually going to trade you anyway. Guys can put down roots here. You see that with Caminero getting married. He's got a kid and being involved in the community. I think that makes a tremendous amount of difference. I've said it for years and years when Stu owned the club, that it affects you and affects the players from a mental standpoint. And I think you're absolutely right. I think this new ownership group has done a hell of a job of, and giving them a few, you don't think these players are looking at these new renderings and listening to the stadium stuff? Of course they are. Of course they are. You think they want to be in the state-of-the-art stadium like other teams have. And there's a lot of other changes that have been made, upgrading travel and everything else that this ownership group has done. Just look at how they handled the Longo weekend. I mean, first class all the way. The old ownership group wasn't doing anything like that. This ownership group is paying homage to the players of the past. The old ownership group didn't do any of that stuff. So, yeah.
And we talked about it at the time that, hey, this is probably a peek into the future of how the ownership's going to treat the team.
100%. Kurt Thorson, one of our subscribers, says, can you ask Mr. Carlson to comment on Miranda's outburst yesterday about the stadium? Yes, I will. I don't know if he will comment, but I will ask him. Today, B. Fit says, I agree. Jason is by far one of the best GMs in all of sports. I have a lot of respect for Jason. I think he does a great job. I disagree with the way he's handling these two situations, but we'll see how it ends. He's obviously trying to get the best deal for the team, and that's his job. And there's no urgency in the Vita Vea situation right now. 2 weeks from now, yes, but right now, no. He should, he wouldn't be practicing anyway. Vita right now, probably. Tampa Chris EV says, the Rays are a very exciting team to watch. New rules put into place a couple of years ago, and the Rays style of play makes for great TV. Yeah, they have taken advantage of the new rules tremendously well. No question about it. The speed, taking bases, small ball / smart ball. Yes. Michael LaRue says, Bucs have 3 interceptions off Geno Smith so far today. I'm telling you. The reason the Bucs offense has struggled a little bit is because this defense is much better. I believe that.
You know what? Let's just throw Todd Bowles another 4-year extension. Let's just do it now.
Get
it out of the way.
Hold up on that deal. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Bill Carlson's going to join us, Tampa City Council. He has a new and improved win-win-win financial plan for this stadium deal, and I can't wait to hear all about it and where this is going. Quick break, back in 3 minutes with Bill Carlson. Stay with us. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Proud to be the show of record that has been bringing you all the stadium news, the ownership news, And we are hopefully close to the finish line here. And that's why we are so happy to bring on Bill Carlson of the Tampa City Council. And without question, the swing vote for this Rays Stadium. Not to put any pressure on you,
Thanks
Councilman, but welcome to the show. Thank you for your time. How are you?
Thank you. And I should say thank you for helping to bring the community together on this. I think you, in front of the camera and behind the scenes, have helped to bring a lot of the parties together. So thank you for your effort and all your supporters as well.
Yeah, well, it's a labor of love. It's the right thing to do for Tampa Bay, and I've always been about that. So we trudge on, and hopefully your creativity. I want to thank you for your creativity and doggedness to get this done, because I know with the frustration that you've had to deal with in terms of the negotiations, you stayed with it. You finally got to Ken, and you've been able to create a creative solution that kind of works for a lot of different people. I'd like what you're proposing with the TIF and the CDD. It's kind of what they did in Atlanta. I thought that was a great model from the beginning. Tell us about it and why this is a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and sorry, it's a little bit complicated. Also, I'm speaking with my own perspective, because none of this has been voted on by anybody. It still has to be approved by the county, the county commission, the city council, and the mayor, and the Rays, and maybe other parties. But I'll just speak about the city proposal that I have out after having lots of conversations. What we have to do as elected officials is listen to all of our constituents and listen to all their concerns. And so what I did is I sat down, at Ken Babby's request, and we talked about what those concerns are and how to resolve them. The biggest concern we have in the city of Tampa right now is that we have more than 15 years of deferred maintenance on roads and sidewalks, parks, and flood prevention. And those are the big concerns that people have, even though it may sound like it's something small for people who are driving the roads and taking their kids to school. It's a big concern. Yeah. So what we've done here is we've figured out a win-win where we don't have to take tax money away from anything else. And instead we can create a $1.5 to $2 billion fund to pay for those infrastructure items. If the deal doesn't go through, there's no money. And the idea is that the only way we could get money is through massive grants, which are not coming, or we have to raise taxes. And there's no interest in raising taxes. And so this solution really is built around how can we solve the problems that the broad community is facing while at the same time give the Rays a permanent home.
This is the key. What you just said is without this deal, you can't get this $1 to $2 billion unless you raise taxes. Correct? I want to reiterate that.
Right. And some of the meshing about it in the beginning was using economic impact numbers and all that, and you can add that on top. But the way the deal would work is that we got rid of CIT, which was a part of this deal. So now we're not pulling money away from anything else, and we're focusing only on property tax within the area. And remember, the original proposal was that they would use the Drew Park CRA. The Drew Park people said, we want to control our own destiny. We don't want the Rays to control, quote unquote, our money. So what we did in working with the Rays and the county is we've agreed to set up a TIF, which the CRA is a type of TIF, but this will be a separate one just for the project. And then we'll move the border of the Drew Park CRA so Drew Park can control its own destiny. And not only that, but we're proposing extending their lifespan from 8 years to 30 so that they'll be able to control their future way into the future. So that gives Drew Park and West Tampa some comfort. There's still some issues that we need to work out in West Tampa, but they're excited about that. And then through the property tax that will be generated in the TIF, it'll be split by the county, the city, and a CDD. You mentioned a CDD is a community development district. That's an extra layer of protection for the public. So no money is going directly to the team or to the development. It's only going into the CDD. The CDD is a government entity that has lots of public oversight so that the money can't be spent in the wrong way. And it will only be able to be used on government-owned facilities. So roads, sidewalks, sewer, water. The ballpark also will be owned by the county.
That's right.
It won't be going to any of the private sector projects. It won't be used to subsidize hotels or offices or anything else. It will only be used for infrastructure. And with that investment of the CDD, at the end of it, all that infrastructure will be owned by the city, county, or the state. And then what I'm proposing is the city's share of that would go into what I'm calling an infrastructure trust fund to build up to spend on infrastructure throughout the city, like roads. And then since we have the CRAs open, that's community redevelopment areas, the downtown one has been a success. There's lots of money in it. Let's take half that money. They'll still, with the other half, they'll still have more than any of the other CRA districts to invest in downtown. So downtown's not going to get left out, but we'll take half of it and put that in the infrastructure trust fund to be used citywide. So if you do behind the napkin numbers for what could come out of the TIF and what will come out of the downtown CRA, it adds up to somewhere around $1.5 to $2 billion over 35 years. That's $2 billion that we would not have unless we raise taxes. And it will only be spent on things like roads, flood prevention, sidewalks, et cetera. And then one extra thing we put in, since this really is a deal between the county and the city, not between the city and the Rays, is we also put in a proposal to extend the East Tampa CRA for 30 years. Because of all the CRA districts, East Tampa is the one that really needs to continue to have an opportunity to develop over the years. And
that's the Ybor area, East Tampa?
East Tampa, it's north of Ybor City.
Okay.
North of Ybor City, east of 275. Right.
And Ken Babby has told me that he's on board with this. And can you get all this done before August 27th, a vote?
Yeah, so we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. We worked out these elements almost in the very first meeting I had with Ken. And then a few days later, we had one that included Bonnie Wise from the county and also Harry Cohen, one of the county commissioners. But since then, we were ironing out the details. What we agreed is that before the county rolls out their deal, which is separate from the city, that they would give me a chance to roll this out. That way I can hear feedback. If you have constructive feedback, please email me at bill.carlson@tampa.gov. And there might be some ways to tweak it. You see on Twitter, people are saying, hey, you need to have this guarantee and that guarantee. Some of that will be worked out in the final contract. But I'm taking a few days to take feedback from the public. Most of it has been positive so far, but on the negative, we can learn from it. Yeah. And then that input will be put into the draft document. And then I'm encouraging them to get a draft out sometime in the next week and then spend a few days getting feedback from the public on that. And then once the feedback from the public comes in, then they'll put the final document forward. They want to hit the end of August. And right now, as long as we have the public participation, I don't see a difference in that. And Ken has said that it's been a benefit to him to hear from the public. Now, instead of trying to shove something through, what we've done is in the last few weeks is we built a coalition in the community where we've answered people's questions, tried to show them how they can benefit from it, even if they don't like baseball, or if they think it's not going to directly benefit them. And now if it goes through, which I think it might, then hopefully more people in the community will be proud of it and not think that it was a boondoggle of some kind.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. It all makes sense. And just to reiterate, that property tax would not be available unless we build this monstrosity around the Rays, which, by the way, does the city council notice that Dallas is doing the same thing with the Stars? By the way, they got that deal done in a week in Plano. And there are actually 50 of these entertainment districts anchored by sports stadiums that are either have been built or going up around the United States. I mean, this is where it's going, and it's also happening worldwide as well. This is the trend. And I know you get it. Does the city council see this and know that if we don't do this, we're the laughing stock of the world, number one. And number two, it's going to another city, probably Orlando, that's going to get all of these benefits. Do they see the trend that is enveloping every other city in America?
Because of sunshine, I'm not allowed to talk to my colleagues outside of the meeting. But I think they get it from what I've seen across the dais. Okay. Unfortunately, the first meeting that all of your followers saw was a meeting where the administration essentially blindsided us on the documents. We had them for a few days. We did not have a chance to discuss them before. So what you saw is us talking about them for the first time because we'd never met before because of sunshine. And I think everybody gets it. There are at least a couple folks who are going to vote against it, but that doesn't mean they don't see the potential for it, I think. But now you have the reasons to keep baseball. You have the reasons to have a real estate development. You have the economic impact numbers. But what we've tried to do in this part of the deal is find out how do we answer the questions of everybody else in the community. Right. And I think we've done that, and we're bringing a lot of people along in it. And the more we can build consensus in the community, it helps eventually for the team to build esprit de corps. And that's something that the team by itself has been able to do, especially by winning so much. But if the broader community is invested and supportive of the project, then as they're winning, the broader community, even if they don't like baseball as much, will be wearing the TB hats and TB shirts.
Yeah.
Proudly wear them all over the world. And, as we travel to other cities, New York or London or Tokyo or wherever, hopefully we'll be seeing more and more people wearing TB hats.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill Carlson joining us here, Tampa City Council. So what I'm hearing is Babby's on board, you're on board, you're the swing vote. So that looks like a 4-3 to me. County's good. You guys will vote first. Conceivably, August 27th, you guys could vote first. The county could follow. And by the end of August, this deal could be done.
So the steps that still have to be done, the reason why I want them to send out a draft in the next few days is because the worst thing to do is get all the opposition at the final meeting itself. If we end up with 300 people protesting, that shows that we didn't do our job. We need to hear all the opposition first while we can still tweak it. Because if we end up just at that meeting, like we did with the MOU, it's impossible to change it. At the MOU,
so are you going to have a public, sorry to interrupt. So you're going to have a public input meeting?
I'm not having a meeting, but I'm doing lots of interviews and I'm giving out my email address. If people have feedback, they can email me. If they want to talk to me on the phone, they can. But what's up now is that when we get the draft, then I'll be able to see what the details are and make sure that everything is in there the right way. And if I or anybody else have additional questions, we can answer them. And then we still need to get 4 votes of city council, and we need to get the mayor's approval. In theory, we could pass it with 5 votes, but I don't know how many votes we have right now. And I'm hoping that because the broader community now is becoming more supportive as they understand the benefits to them, that maybe we'll get more than 4 votes.
I know there's stuff going on between the council and the mayor's office. There was threats of a lawsuit last night or yesterday's meeting. Could that in any way interfere with the mayor supporting this since it's, quote, your idea?
Well, it's not just my idea. There's a bunch of this put together by a lot of different people.
Okay, good.
But, the Rays met with the mayor over the weekend and she seemed to indicate she was supportive.
Okay.
And so I hope that this will go through. This is not something, even though people accuse me and other people of getting involved in politics, at this point, we've got what might be a deal that could pass. And if we want to do something good for our community, we just all need to work together. And so I've offered to collaborate in any way they want if they want to work with me.
This lawsuit that you're talking about with the administration, the mayor's office, would that interfere with this? And I know Charlie Miranda went on some rants yesterday, and don't get me started on that, but he threatened a lawsuit. Could that somehow interfere in this process?
I hope that the mayor's office decides to provide the transparency that city council asked for yesterday. And if that happens, that gives us a chance just to, take that point and move
past
on.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So, my attitude is I come from the business community. And so my attitude is always, let's avoid conflict if we can, but that doesn't mean we're not going to stand up for the rights of ourselves and our community. And so when you see me arguing, it's because I don't think the community is being treated fairly. And so hopefully we can move past this and get this done.
And Charlie's issues, I mean, he's a no vote. I get that, but he could in any way have some lawsuit that could stop this or delay it? Because delay is not good.
I don't know if Charlie would file a lawsuit, but there are a lot of people in the community that might. Don't forget that there's still the county's proposal, but the proposal that we have on the table right now for the city is pretty clean and direct. As you said, it's kind of standard in some ways. By the way, many of the ideas I suggested to Ken 6 months ago. So now we're finally coming around and putting them all in, which is a good thing. But the big issue was about using the CIT. And now that that's off the table, then the only thing would be if you're against any of the property taxes going into the infrastructure around the deal, then you may be against it. But none of the money is going to the Rays, and none of it is going to any of the for-profit entities. That's something that I mandated in this. And so if something changes along the way, that'll be different. Interestingly, I don't know if you know, but the hotels and the businesses are going to be taxed. But did you know that the skyboxes and other for-profit areas in the stadium itself will be taxed?
I did not know that.
So that will be included. I didn't know that.
So that will create sales tax revenue.
I don't know about sales tax, maybe, but for sure property taxes. And I know that because Bonnie Wise, who is the county administrator, is just brilliant, and she's great to work with.
She is, yeah.
When you see the ideas she's come out with, they're just fantastic. And I should give credit here. I know you know Ken Hagan very well. I stepped into this in the last couple of weeks, but Ken's been leading this for like 20 years.
Yes, he has.
And the other county commissioners have been working hard. They've been taking a lot of political heat. I'm not trying to take credit or anything. I'm just trying to find a solution to be a win-win for everybody. If we can solve the basic issues of our community while still keeping the team, that's a win-win.
Yeah, we will make sure Ken gets his flowers when this is all said and done, that he deserves it. Because you're right, he has been taking the slings and arrows for a long, long time. But, he, like me, like you, we're all in this not because we want to give the Rays money, not because we're in it because it's good for Tampa Bay. And I've always talked about baseball doing it right here in Tampa Bay. And that's on this side of the Bay. Nothing against St. Pete. We love them. We need them. We need Pinellas to support this. We need to do this as a community. It doesn't work without everybody. So
the good thing about St. Pete, I've been very involved in St. Pete over the years. St. Pete is used to going to Steinbrenner Field now. And so if it has to come to Tampa, they're okay with here. If it was in Ybor or further east, we would lose the St. Pete people.
I agree. Yeah.
So this is a great way to keep it regional.
All right. I know you got to go. Thank you for joining us. So just before we go, you're pretty upbeat about this all taking place within the next couple of weeks and getting everything done.
There's still ways that people could throw a problem into it. And so please, for any of your followers or fans, please ask everybody just to have a level head. I've gotten lots of emails and texts from longtime supporters in the last few days who say, hey, you're supporting baseball. I'll never support you again. And this is the risk that we take. But I've always been somebody who does what's right, not what's popular. And although there are many baseball fans that are in favor of this, hopefully the rest of the community will come along and they'll understand that this is not a subsidy.
Not just baseball. No,
it's not a subsidy for the Rays. No. It's not a subsidy for private invest. It's building infrastructure that will be owned by the community. And guess what? The city will get up to $2 billion in much needed infrastructure without raising taxes.
A tremendous benefit. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Bill, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Keep us posted on everything if anything happens. And there's a lot of people, our Petermans here, that are supporting you. Apologies for maybe that not being the case early on when there was some misunderstandings, but I understand we're all in this for the right reasons, and that's for baseball and non-baseball fans to get it. This is a very important thing for the community. So
one more thing before I go is on city council, Alan Clendenin has been leading on this all along.
Yes, as well. Yeah.
So thank you to him for his support. He and I can't talk about it, but I know he continues to be a champion for this. So please, everybody, thank him as well.
He's been amazing. All right, Bill, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Bill Carlson there, and also running for mayor. So, and I know he wants to be a mayor of a city that's going to have something like this. So absolutely. All right. Timmy, are you there? Again, I'm getting a circle here.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I want to get to our comments here in the last 9 minutes before.
Sounds like Bill's on board, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Big time. Big time. I mean, let me just sum that up by saying, what I've been telling you for a while, folks. I've never been more optimistic about this because I know what's been going on behind the scenes, and we've told you about it, that it's everything is moving in the right direction. As we said months and months ago, watching the sausage be made is going to be ugly, and it's going to get political. But in the end, the deal's too good. It's too smart. It's too great of an opportunity. The whole situation lines up so perfectly that you can't F this up. And I've always believed that. And there's going to be opposition. And I think the more and more, to Bill's point, the more and more non-baseball people that say, you're supporting baseball, I'll never vote. That's crazy. This is not about baseball. It is about baseball, but it's not just about baseball. It's about so much more than that. And you're seeing this with other cities. These are not baseball subsidies to owners. And we've got comments coming in about, what happened with the football stadium many years ago, blah, blah, what happened in Miami. You people have to understand, this is not Miami. This is a completely different situation. There's no entertainment district around the Miami Stadium. There's no ridiculous financing that was part of the Marlins deal in this deal. It's not in the worst part of Miami in a terrible location. The deals couldn't be any more different. But opposition people keep bringing this shit up, and you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. It's not even close. Oh, but what about the Bucs? This deal has nothing to do with the Buccaneers of 35 years ago. They said they were going to pay, but they didn't pay. Just ridiculous stuff. You people don't know what you're talking about. You haven't looked into the deal. You don't know the details of it. And you just sound stupid, ignorant, and dumb. So get out of here with that. I'm not even going to read your comments.
Wait, JP, I'm not sure that we all understand exactly how you feel there. Can you reiterate?
I think we figured that out. Evan said, did he give any timeline of voting? Yes, we just did that. August 27th will be the meeting where this could come to a vote. He wants to get a lot of public input before that, get a draft of the deal out there to the people. So yeah, Michael says winter shovels getting into the ground. Well, as I said, demolition has already begun. But there's, as far as building the stadium, fourth quarter, September, October, November, we get shovels in the ground. And again, I don't get hung up on opening day 2029. It's can be construction delays and all those things. We got a great fallback in the trop. Get the deal done. That's what needs to be done. We want to have opening day 2029. That's a big deal, but the bigger deal is getting the financial deal done. And then we'll go from there. You know, if we get 35 monsoons between now and 2029, it ain't going to get done. But that's not the point. It'll be done eventually. And that's the point. I think you guys are recapping, and we're recapping, and you got what's going on. Rick says Charlie is writing a strongly worded parchment. As soon as he finds his inkwell and sheepskin, the horse and rider should be rested by Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, parchment.
Pooh Shiesty says, thank you for your membership. Says, without violating sunshine laws, does Mr. Carlson think this would be agreeable to other council members? We asked that question, but I think you got the answer to that. And again, we know who the no's are, and we know he's the swing vote. Guido, I think Guido could say yes. I think he will. I think this vote will actually be 5-2. But again, we don't know until we know. Your Charlie jokes are incredible, Rick. I can't read them all. What else we got here? Nathan Stout says Ray's new owner signing former Orioles manager Brandon Hyde to senior advisor has been huge. The Orioles fired him after back-to-back playoffs. Big part of our farm rebuild. He advocated for Tyler Wells. Well, that's been an absolute killer acquisition so far. That's for sure. You get a couple more here from the beginning of the show from our great members, which, by the way, you could become a VIP member at the YouTube page. Go to that, FanStream Sports Tampa Bay. Alejandro says the eighth inning was just what the Rays needed, being that we scored 8 runs against their bullpen, which is the worst in Major League Baseball. Junior's homer was nice to see. The Blue Jays beating the Red Sox was as well. Yes, thank you. Boo Shiesty says 7 wins in a row for our Tampa Bay Rays, 6 games up in the division, on pace for 95 wins, number 1 seed in the AL, and a new stadium on the horizon. It's a great day in Tampa Bay. As I postulated months ago, Timmy, the greatest season in Rays history.
It is upon us.
It is upon us. What else we got here? Alejandro, good start for Peralta, and I'm going to see him at the Trop this weekend. If the matchup is correct, he should pitch Sunday against Trevor Rogers. Let's go Rays, and happy that we are on a nice run. Yeah, I think I might be going Saturday for the Jordan Davis concert as well. A little boat day, a little Rays day, a little country music. I think we can get that done. Kurt Thorson, one of our members, says a lot of shenanigans at Council Monday, calls for the state AG to go after Castor. Miranda threatening a lawsuit that the stadium is made with public money. What a day. I think we're all through that though. You know, again, it's ugly watching it. It feels bad, but they're going to get this done. What else we got here? A lot of Miranda jokes.
A lot of
Anything
Miranda
else?
jokes.
Jimmy J. Voyager says, great comeback by the Rays. Carson Williams needs to go. Cannot hit. Need to call up Jacob Melton for his offensive bet. I agree. Danny Boy Kane, hey, sorry we didn't get your Canes update. We got to get you on the show as well to do a little Canes talk, my friend. Amon Richards is at practice today. He will join us tomorrow. I'm going to do that interview at 2:30 today. So if you have any questions about the Canes that you want, put them in the chat. We'll give it an ask. Let's see this one from Anthony Manzano says, do you guys think also the reason why there's hesitancy for the county to pass the new stadium because they probably saw the disaster that was the Miami Marlins situation? I think we've answered that.
Yep.
It's a completely different deal. Anything else you see here that's new and interesting?
Lots of funny stuff. I'm just, I'll start there.
Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have time for all the great jokes here, guys, because you are funny and everybody reads them, so they don't go to waste. Alex Hunt says, get a stadium deal done, win the AL East. That's the real story, 100%. I wanted to talk about this real quick, too. Did anyone see the outrageous ruling in the Red Sox-Jays game? Timmy, did you see this?
Yeah, I sent it in our chat last night.
Yeah. It's,
You want me to pull the video?
Sure. Yeah. We got time for that. This is, unlike, how many gazillion baseball games have we watched? And some days it's just like, I've never seen that before. First of all, we got runners on first and third. The stadium scoreboard says 2 outs. There is 1 out. So the stadium scoreboard is wrong.
However, the stadium scoreboard was changing to 1 out mid-play. They changed it mid-play while the ball's in play.
So by the way, players don't go by what they see. In terms of like what happened on the field, they look up at the scoreboard like everybody else because they forget. And they saw it. So the runners pop fly to center field if you want to run it. Yeah. The runners acting like there's 2 outs. Can't really see the runners. They're running like it's 2 outs now. Okay. And the outfielder, I think, thinks it as well because he's not throwing it home to get the guy tagging up.
He throws into second base, and the Red Sox forgot how many outs there were, and that winds up a double play and a base running mistake. Both runners. Wow.
The scoreboard had 2 outs.
Scoreboard did have 2 out.
But
somebody got fired.
Use that as an excuse. The Red Sox went out to start to get ready.
Even the umpires like, I don't know.
The umpires, Lou, huddled
this
together.
game delay was 15 minutes.
Schneider, the Toronto manager, they have already talked with Tracy.
The minute this ball is hit, both runners are taking off. Not only both runners, but look at Valenzuela and Woods Richardson. The ball is caught. They're high-fiving. They're walking off.
We're out of the inning.
That's the third out.
Yeah.
It's not. It's only the second out.
How do they not know how many outs there are?
And they're realizing it. So the pitch.
They just must all look at the scoreboard.
Base runners obviously felt there were 2 outs. Are they going to put the runners back? I don't know what more you'd be arguing about still if you're.
So basically,
we'll need an explanation.
It becomes
how
a timing
confused
play.
the umpire is even.
Yeah. It's a timing play. So the guy actually scores because they went and got the second out at first base.
Right. Because the other team left the field.
So I think in a weird way, it's like an algebra or trigonometry formula. You have to like unwind it like multiple different layers. Okay. This is great.
We have a time play, meaning when the third out was made at first base with the runner not tagging up. The runner that was on third base also did not tag, but crossed home plate before the third out was made at first base.
The run's going to count.
So that is a time play. We are going to New York to do a rules check.
There is a timing rule. There's a chance
Yeah.
that they're going to count.
So they get this. I think they get this right. Well, I know they do.
They do. They got it right.
But it's bizarre. Right. And was it a 1-run game?
I didn't see the final.
I didn't see the final either. But that is the most bizarre thing ever. So many people screwing up here that it just,
So if just one Blowjay would have stayed on the field. They could throw him the ball and he could tag the base and it would be out and no runs. But because they all left the field.
After calling New York, getting it all straightened out, the run is going to score. Every inning, 2 runs for Toronto, 1 run for Boston.
Bizarre. That's as strange as it gets. That's the rule.
That is as strange as it gets.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I sent that in our chat it was late last night. You probably sleep. But
no, I saw it. I was watching. They had it on Sports Center as well. So
yeah.
Rick says the Red Sox were looking at the wrong iPad. I mean scoreboard.
Got to listen to the trash can.
Yeah. Joe is right. If that Toronto had gone to third base first, they would have stopped Boston from scoring on the appeal play. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it just tells me that they look up at the scoreboard as well and don't keep it in their head. Like, by the way, another Bucs Jets fight. We're up to 5 total fights now. How about that?
Sweet.
This is what these joint practices have become now, because as much as the coaches will say, "Oh, I don't want you guys fighting. You'll be thrown out of practice." They all want to be the most physical, badass team, right? Yeah. So the players know, especially fringe players know, if you want to get noticed, get in a fight, and that's what we get. So we're going to be talking about preseason games going away and joint practices taking up for them. But this is, they got to figure something out here, because this is, untenable to have these fights all the time in freaking practice. But you'll love to see it if you're a Bucs fan, because your defense definitely needs to have a little edge to it.
Like, why would the Jets and Bucs hate each other? Like, what's going on there? This is so weird.
They don't. It's just guys trying to make a name for themselves. That's what I think. So one way to get noticed.
Yeah.
They like guys with fight, right?
As long as you win the fight. If you get your ass kicked, then you're going to get noticed too.
That's a problem as well. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Big thanks to Bill Carlson. If you missed anything, you can always go back and watch on YouTube. You can go watch on Twitter, Facebook, also on the podcast as well. And you can fast forward, go to anything you want. It's all marked in there. So on demand, you can listen and watch any way you like in all those different places. Go Rays tonight, 9:40 against the A's again. And God, can you imagine if they can sweep this whole freaking road trip? That's just absolutely unbelievable.
Big O show coming up.
Big O show coming up at 12:30. So we got all this. He's got lots of stuff coming up. We're going to talk about that, the Red Sox cheating scandal, talk about the Rays and how they're doing this and winning and what the future looks like down the stretch. All that and more coming up on a Big O show right here at 12:30. We'll see you then.